1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Okay. So that seems to be in order. That seems to be in order. Red Glove Militant asked me how was my dinner. My dinner was very Spartan, sir. Only two ingredients, two items on the dish, my friend. It was half a chicken, well seasoned, of course, very well seasoned, and some good old-fashioned baked beans. Good old-fashioned baked beans. Baked beans were seasoned as well, though. Black pepper, Caribbean seasoning, sprinkled all over. Cooked in a pan with a light drizzle of olive oil. And it was simple, Spartan fare. Spartan fare. Spartan fare, but very, very tasty, nutritious. Heinrich Schmitz alleges. Yeah, there will be a cooking hour starting at some point, cooking with Raph, because I know some of you guys out there, you know, you're not too good in the kitchen. So we have to get, there's been a high demand for cooking with the Raphie. Cooking with the Raphie. Okay, without much further ado, let me start the music before I introduce myself. Okay, let's get the music. Let me get the music right. Let me get the music right. Volume down low. I know exactly what I'm going with. As a matter of fact, let me get the sound settings. Let me check the sound settings all together. Matter of fact, rat-tat-tat-tat, I want to run a little experiment. I want to run a little Chef Gordon Hawkins, or is it Raph Ramsey? There. Let me do an experiment with the music. Let me do an experiment. Let me do an experiment with the music. For anybody who's just joining, you are in tune to Boxing Talk with Raphie. Let me try this. Okay, can you hear the music? Can you hear that music? Write it in the comment section if you can hear the music. No. No. Write in the comment section if you can hear the music or you cannot hear the music. Very little. Okay. The experiment continues. The experiment continues. Let me change the track. Let me change the track. The track has changed. Write in the comment section if you can hear the music. Music levels, write in the comment section if you can hear the music. Fuck you know. Write in the comment section if you can hear the music, please. No music. Okay. Okay, that experiment is over. That experiment is over. Very, very little. Okay. Okay. The experiment is over. I'm going to have to use more conventional methods. More conventional methods. Okay. 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 So. Okay. So. All right. Okay. Let's get started. Let's get cracking. Okay. So. You are in tune to Boxing Talk with Raphie. Episode 44. Boxing Talk with Raphie, episode 44. Okay, and today we're going to be discussing certain things. Certain things. I had it all mapped out, all planned out. All mapped out, all planned out. What's this here? What's this here? What's this here? And then Dereck Chisora. Dereck Chisora had to stick his oar in. Dereck Chisora had to go and steal the show. Dereck Chisora had to go and steal the show today at the press conference, the Pro Regis Pro Grace versus Josh Taylor press conference. Dereck Chisora was on one. And he wasn't afraid to let everybody know, everybody know. Yeah, music is low. Very, very low. Very low. Matter of fact, let me go over to YouTube. Let me go over to YouTube and see what the levels are like. Okay, that's the alternative method over there. Okay, I see. Okay, everything's in check. Check 1, check 2. Okay, right. So where are we? Okay, so lots of things, lots of topics I have in mind. But Dereck Chisora went and stole the show, as only he can do, by letting loose in the Regis Pro Grace, press conference. But should it be the Regis Pro Grace press conference, or should it, or should it have been the Dereck Chisora? Should it have been the Dereck Chisora, Joseph Parker? Should it have been Dereck Chisora versus Joseph Parker? Should it have been their press conference? Their press conference. Does Dereck Chisora have a point? Does he have reason to be somewhat vexed? Dereck Chisora seemed locked in a state of vexation. Locked in a state of vexation. Yes, indeed. So let me go. What's going on here? What's going on here? It's Monday. I think it's actually calm for Chisora. Calm. Yeah, that's not calm, mate. That's not calm. You know, I just come home. Yeah. Toby Bartlett, send me your Gmail. Send me your Gmail email. Thank you. Okay. So what was I going to say? Yeah. Calm for Chisora. I think not. I'd come home for lunch. I work locally. I came home for lunch and got a notification that the thing was going down. The press conference was going down. Turned on the computer. Tuned into the alert. Press conference alert. Where are we? Tuned into the press conference alert. And made a very quick video on the situation as Dereck was letting loose. Saw the guys in the front row cracking up laughing. You had Lawrence Okoli, couldn't stop laughing. You had Connor Benn, couldn't. He's just like, what the hell's going on? A few more guys in the front row made a quick video, and what is it, like 1,700 views on a quick video made in the lunchtime? And that's Dereck Chisora being calm? I think not. I think you jest. You jest. Mad things. Let me get into the proper window. Mad things. And then I look around on YouTube and every man and his dog is making a video. Went live. Every man and his dog scrambled and went live. Went live with the thing. You know, if I had more time, I might have gone live too. I might have gone live with the Dereck Chisora outburst. I don't know. I haven't checked the American channels yet. I just got in from work not long ago. Put the chicken in the grill, put the beans in the pan. You know, got the pan up to the right temperature, put some olive oil, extra virgin olive oil in the pan, got it up to a nice temperature. Then bang the beans in, bang the season on top of the beans, bang the season on the chicken in the grill. Ate, then realized I didn't have my liquids, didn't have the sufficient liquids to get me through the show and get me through the night and get me through the morning. So I had to jump in the whip, head back down to Morrison's, which I'd already been to previously before I got home, and got the drinks in. So I haven't had time to check what the American channels are up to. Okay, so as I was saying, the events of lunchtime have, due to the results, the events at lunchtime, with Dereck Chisora's outburst, I've had to shuffle my topic sheet just a tad. Just a tad. I had to make some revisions. Well, not really. I just had to add it onto the topic sheet. I've had to add it onto the topic sheet. Lots of topics. We're not going to get through all of them. And now it's just a question of where do I begin? Where do I begin? That's the question. One thing I like about this StreamYard thing is that it tells me exactly how long I've been on, so you can get your time check at any time just by the flick of an eye. Okay, once again, let me go and check what's happening in YouTube land. Okay, let me see if any moderators have reminded you, the people, to smash that like button. Let me see who's done it. Who's done it? Nobody that I can see. Okay. Let me rectify. Let me rectify that matter. Where are we? Okay. Thank you. Where else are we? Where else are we? What else needs to be done? Got to take care of housekeeping. Got to take care of housekeeping first things first. Okay. There's the Twitter link. Smash the like button. See how that looks. Okay, I like it. I like it. I like it. So there you have the Twitter link, and there you have the smash the like button reminder. Okay, so let's get into the thing. Let's get into the thing. Okay. First topic. Haha. Tyson Fury calls. Okay. Let's go. I think we're gonna go with the Deontay Wilder. I think we're gonna start off with Deontay Wilder. We're gonna start with the Deontay Wilder. But first, before I do that, let me bring up the article. Okay. Deontay Wilder comes up straight away. What's he going on with now? Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, let's share that. Let us share. Let us share. Share the screen. Screen sharing tips. Entire screen. Boom. 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 Hope I'm sharing that. Hope I'm sharing that. Let's see. Let's see. Time lag, time delay, but I'll carry on anyway. Okay. So, how's that looking? Okay. That looks good, actually. That looks good. Okay. So, Deontay Wilder's co-manager, Shelly Finkel, says Eddie Hearn should be focused on resurrecting Anthony Joshua and not the WBC's champion's future plans. What was that? Deontay Wilder co-manager Shelly Finkel says Eddie Hearn should be focused on resurrecting Anthony Joshua and not the WBC champion's future plans. Okay, so Wilder is set to make the next defense of his WBC heavyweight title against Luis Ortiz. As a matter of fact, hold on. Hang fire. Let me stop sharing that. Have I stopped sharing? I think I'll stop sharing. I think I have stopped sharing. Hold on. Let me get this thing in order. What's going on here? Where are we? Who's that? Okay. Okay, let's get back to sharing. Sharing is caring. Share your screen. Okay, we're back. Okay, so Wilder is set to make the next defense of his WBC heavyweight title against Luis Ortiz, with a date and venue to be announced later this month. But Hearn raised doubts about the planned rematch with the Cuban co-manager Finkel. Wilder's co-manager Finkel has responded to Matchroom Boxing's boss, confirming that the bout will be revealed in the next few weeks, and told Hearn to switch his attention to Joshua, who faces Andy Ruiz Jr. in a December 7th rematch. Okay, more Finkel talking. More talking from Finkel. Not even going to press that button. On a live stream. Copyright issues. Deontay fights against Luis Ortiz. What's this nonsense? What's this pile of garbagio? Okay, so Deontay Wilder versus Luis Ortiz. announced this month. Okay, that's a lot of crapola. Load of rubbish. Utter load of rubbish. Are we still sharing? Are we still sharing? Where's the article? Where's the article I'm looking for? Okay, can't find it. Never mind. Stop sharing. Stop sharing. Okay, the long shot, the long and the short of it. The long and the short of it is that. The long and the short of it is that. What's going on here? What's this say? Yeah, Cool and the gang. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, the long and the short of it is that Deontay Wilder is looking to set up his rematch with Luis Ortiz. Remember, it was set up a long time ago when Joshua was having his first fight with Ruiz. He was talking about, when last one says, what, Raph, what are you listening to? Sounds trippy. It's trippy. It's trippy. It's hippie. It's hoppity. It's the hip. It's the hop. It's the trippity. Yeah, it's nice. It's different. It's different. That's why I'm listening to it. It's got a nice vibe, nice groove, and it's it's kind of spacey. It's good. It's good shizzle. So remember, Deontay Wilder originally stated that he would be fighting Luis Ortiz. He made the announcement when just before June the 1st, which is the date of their first fight. Them being Anthony Joshua versus Ruiz. Ruiz, what's his name? Yeah. Andreas, the Ponce, Ruiz Jr. That's when Wilder first announced that he was fighting Luis Ortiz. Yeah, made a big song and dance about it. Yeah, everything's signed, sealed, and delivered. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah. Yeah, just before June the 1st. And then I was like the week of, early in the week. And then, within a couple of days, like the day before, like the Thursday before the Saturday of the fight, then Wilder came out with his statement that, I'm going to be and my the rematch with what's his name? With Fury. Yeah, we just signed the rematch with Fury. So within the same week of Joshua versus the Ponce 1, the Ruiz, the Ponce 1, within the same week, remember, Wilder made 2 announcements. Announcement 1. We've signed with Ortiz, Luis Ortiz. Yeah, it's all good. It's all signed, sealed, and delivered. It's all good. And then just a few days before the fight, we've just got everything signed, sealed, and delivered with Fury now. Yeah, it's all good. It's all signed, sealed, and delivered with Fury. Yeah, 2 fight announcements within 1 week. 2 fight announcements within 1 week. And interesting. Yes, Junior in the building. And I'll do a roll call shortly. And then very interestingly enough, 6 months later, where are we? What is it? June, July, August, September, October, September. 4 months. What? June, July, August, September. Okay, 4 months later. 3 months later. Still nothing from Wilder is in concrete. We haven't had 1 confirmed date. 3 months later, but yeah, he was flapping his gums. At the time, he was flapping his gums, talking about this and that. Yeah, we signed. We signed. Everything signed. The contracts are signed. It's all good. It's all systems go. Yeah, the fight with Ortiz. Yeah, we've signed. It's all good. It's all systems go. the fight with Tyson Fury. Yeah, we've signed. It's everything's signed. It's all systems go, go, go. 3 months later, nothing. Nothing. What a load of crapola. What a utter load of crapola. Utterly ridiculous. Garbage. Wilder was only using Joshua's name. Clout chasing. Shirt tail rider. Riding the shirt tail of Anthony Joshua. And the same is happening again. Now that Joshua is in the press, it's coming out with, once again, pipes up comes, up, pipes up, in comes the voice of Wilder. More crapola. Yeah, I'd like, we just want Fury to step aside, just step aside, because I would like to fight the winner of Joshua v. Ruiz 2. Yeah, that's what we're going for now. That's what we're going for. So we just need Fury to sign the step aside papers, so I can fight. I want to be undisputed, man. One name, one face, one champion. That's what we're going for. One name, one face, one champion. That's what we want. And Fury's in the way. Fury's blocking. We just want him to step aside. Might even pay him some step aside money. Riding on the shirt tail of another man. That's how he's doing it. Pitiful. Absolutely pitiful behavior by Wilder. Pitiful, very transparent clout chasing. That's how he got his social media, by keeping Joshua's name in his mouth. Keeping Joshua's name in his mouth. Pretending that he wants it. Pretending that he wants to fight. But yet the guy turns down $100 million offer. For 3 fights. 20 mil for Breezel. And 2 fights. 80 mil divided by 2. 2 Anthony Joshua fights. 40 mil apiece. And yet, the man made a lot of talking. Made a lot of talking in the press, a lot of back and forth. A lot of toing and froing. Well, I don't believe that Wilder wanted that fight. He was just prolonging the talks. It was a strategy. He was just prolonging the talks, wanting to keep his name out there, build his profile by riding on the shirt tail of Anthony Joshua. That was the program all along. That was his program all along. He didn't really want it. And he still doesn't want it. Why? Why doesn't he want it? Because he's with the PBC. He's with the PBC. Wilder is with the PBC. talked about this before. Premier Boxing. What is it? What is it? It's not champions. What is it? Cult. Premier Boxing Cult. That's who Wilder's with. It's a cult member. Premier Boxing Cult. That's who he's with. That's his cult. How do they operate? You know exactly how they operate. They fight. They don't like to fight outside of their cult. They don't like to fight outside of the Premier Boxing Cult. They like to keep things in-house. They like to keep things in-house. They don't like to fight outsiders. And then they say, well, we let Philip Carl Rogers says, Robert says, Premier Boxing Clowns. I say, well, we let Ruiz, we let Andy the Punch, we let Andreas the Punch Ruiz. We let Andre the Punch Ruiz come over. He's PBC guy, left Al Heyman, went over with the PBC. I say, well, we let PBC boy in the form of Andreas the Punch Ruiz. We let him fight your guy. We let him out. We let him out to the cult. We let him out. Day release. We gave him day release from the cult to fight one fight. And I respond to that, yeah, but you'd only just got Andy Ruiz, Andreas the Punch. You'd only just got Andreas the Punch. You only just came over. You only just came over. You only just got their release. He's not a blue chip member. Andreas the Punch Ruiz is not a blue chip member of the cult. He's a newcomer. He's just wetting his beak over there. So that's why they let him out. That's why they let him out to play. That's why they let him out to play, just to see. They didn't expect him to do anything. He didn't expect to do anything. That's why they didn't worry about the contract. They didn't worry about the second contract. They didn't worry about part 2 of the contract. They only looked at the $5 million. The Pond saw the $5 million, says, yeah, we good. Where do I sign? We're good. Where do I sign? Show me where I sign. Didn't expect to win. When you focused on the second for the second fight, didn't even look at that part of the contract which governed the second fight. That was not an issue because they weren't expecting to win. Weren't expecting to win shizzle. Didn't even look at the second contract. Last one says, hey, Raph, I don't care. Chisora is a legend. I think Chisora cemented his legendary status. Chisora cemented his legendary status today. There's no doubt about it. There is no doubt about it. Chisora was already a legend. But today... Oh man, getting some very funny. Anyway, I'm not even going to mention a funny message from a funny guy. Oh dear. Okay. Yes. Cemented his position. Cemented his position with his outburst today. But we're gonna have to look into that. We're gonna have to chop that up. We're gonna have to say, well, is that the next topic? Haven't I already covered that? Have I touched on that? We're gonna go deeper into it, of course. But have I already touched that? Okay, we're going to touch that again shortly. That was a tickle. We just tickled that. Okay. Another topic that we're going to be touching on is Nigel, the Dark Destroyer, Benn. Nigel, the Dark Destroyer, Benn. Have you seen the video? I made a video on it. Did you watch the video? I suggest you watch the video at some point. But anyway, Nigel, I'll tell you the outline. Nigel, the Dark Destroyer, Benn is coming back. He's returning to the ring after a 23-year absence from the competitive ring. Nigel, the Dark Destroyer, Benn is coming. Is coming back. And he will be fighting. He will be making an announcement within the next 2 weeks. Flying over from Australia, his new homeland. Coming back to the UK. He'll be making his announcement within the next 2 weeks. Who his opponent will be. And apparently the contracts have been signed. The contracts have been signed. Apparently, the fella who is as yet unnamed is an ex WB. Was it WBA? WBA? I think next WBA champion. Ex-WBA champion. And that guy, whoever he is, we don't know yet. It has not been released. He has fought as recently as 2 years ago. So whoever he is next WBA champion. He's fought as recently as 2 years ago. Who could it be? Who could it be? Okay, so we're going to be getting deeper into that later. Okay, so we're going to be looking at the telephone calls between Joshua and Tyson Fury. Joshua and Tyson Fury. We're going to be looking into that too. We're going to be looking at the Sun. Matter of fact, before I go any further, let me put the link in the chat. Invite. Okay, so there is the link. Okay, so we're going to be looking at the Sun article on Anthony Joshua. They did a smear piece, the Sun. They did a smear piece on Anthony Joshua, and it's like a drip. It's like a little chipping away effect. Okay, so I watched the interview that Joshua did with Michelle Joy Phelps. And he said that, he says, Tyson will just ring me randomly, Yeah, we'll be talking, and then I'll say to him, that's all good, bro, I'm going to knock you out. And he'll say back to me, well, I'm going to knock you out. And then I'll say back to him, I'm going to knock you out. you know. So it was a kind of jovial thing. It was a jovial thing. But the way the Sun reported it, their spin on it was like, oh yeah, Tyson Fury calls Joshua up to tell him he's going to knock him out. Do the Sun have an agenda? Do the Sun have an agenda? That is something I'll be going deeper into shortly. Looking through some of these comments. Matter of fact, let me look at them over in YouTube. Let me see what's going on over here. When did I put that? When did I put that in? Yeah, so the Sun newspaper. Notorious newspaper. Let me have a look what's going on. Heinrich Schmidt says Parker beats Chisora. Okay. Well, certainly, of course, we're going to have to talk about that because we're going to have to talk about Chisora's situation at the live press conference this afternoon, UK time. We're going to have to be talking about that for sure. WBA champion. I think the person he's fighting is a WBA champion. I think it's WBA. I think Nigel Benn's opponent, yet to be announced opponent, was a WBA champion. I did the video. Check the video. Okay. Heinrich Smith says Raphie truly loves Wilder. Surely you jest. Heinrich. Toby Butler says it's good that Tyson is making these unknown fighters famous. Yeah, he's certainly raising their profile. Tyson Fury is raising their profile and giving these cherries a higher profile. For sure. It's amazing. It's wonderful. And it's very kind and polite of him that he's allowing these cherries to fight for the lineal belt. It is highly polite of him. Highly polite. Scrolling through. John Dealey says Wilder announced the Fury rematch on the press cut. Wilder announced the Fury rematch during the press conference for AJ Ruiz 1. How transparent indeed. How transparent indeed. Heinrich Smith says Wallin is a southpaw. Yes, he is a southpaw, and Deontay Wilder is not. So where is the logic in that? Where is the logic in that? Red Glove Militant says get your the head is not meant to be hit t-shirts ready. Get them ready from LeBronsBomberMerch.com. Use the promo code RDCR for significantly reduced shipping costs. Go ahead with it. Go ahead with it. Heinrich Schmidt says the English fans are the best. The Mexican fans may disagree with you, but I would tend to agree. The British fans do tend to show up and support their guy. Most definitely. Most definitely. Red Glove Militant says, breaking news. Chisora says, I like my press conferences like my olive oil, extra virgin. I smashed the like button about half an hour ago before the stream started, says the Red Gloved Militant. What is that? What is that sound? What is that alert? I don't recognize the alert. What is that? I'm again Facebook. I'm again Facebook. Oh. I'm again Facebook alerts. Actually, I know this girl, but I don't know her by this name. There is some skullduggery afoot. There is some skullduggery afoot. Something is afoot. Something is afoot. I'll have to check that out later. Okay. Where are we? What the hell's going on? Why is Facebook blowing up my phone? Okay, so before I go any further, let me see what's going on. Okay. Right. Okay, so this is John Dealey. We have John Dealey. He's on. He's in the Adidas today. Very good. Very nice color, sir. Very nice color, sir.
Thanks, Raphie.
You're most welcome. What is that, turquoise?
It's kind of like a German away kick colour.
Yeah, that's good. I like the color. Okay, so where are we? Let's get straight into it. First of all, let me check the stats over in YouTube. Let me check the stats. Okay, let me smash the like button and join the thong. And then we will get straight into it. Okay, let's close that. Let's go over here, have a look at that. That's all good. Okay, first topic. Nigel Benn. Well, should we talk about Nigel Benn or should we talk about the press conference? Let's talk about the press conference. So, did you see the press conference?
No. I went back and watched it after I saw your program, so I didn't watch it live.
You didn't watch it live, but you have watched it subsequently.
Yeah. I've also seen an interview with Eddie afterwards.
I haven't seen that.
With IFL TV, which...
Yeah, tell me about that.
Well, Eddie seems to be thinking there's a bit of flex on who the main event is.
Oh, that's interesting.
But I suppose from Eddie's point of view, he's often having to pay for Dereck's fines, isn't he?
Say that again.
But how many times has Eddie Hearn had to pay a fine for Dereck because he kicked off at the?
Yeah, he's paid a fine quite a few. He's paid quite a few fines for Dereck.
So maybe he thinks, keep him sweet. It's cheaper than paying his fine.
Yeah, Indeed. True indeed. Big boys boxing in the building.
How you lads doing?
I'm doing good, my friend. Yeah, doing good. Feeling good, feeling great. Feeling good, feeling great. That's a song by the Outcasts. Feeling good, feeling great. Feeling good, feeling great. How are you?
Not too
How are
bad.
you? so we're talking about we're starting off with have you seen the Dereck Chisora press conference? Or they're calling it the Dereck Chisora press conference. It's supposed to be the Regis Progress versus Josh Taylor press conference, but now we're all calling it the Dereck Chisora press conference. So he did something right, surely.
Well, he stole the show, and he's proven that he's selling the fight, or he's trying to sell the fight at least. So
I think he just sold the fight, my friend.
yeah, his opponent wasn't even there, and he still did a good job.
I think he made a very good. I mean, we'll put it this way. I mean, I'd come home for lunch, and I just instinctively knew that I should make a video on this before I headed back out. It was just one of those. It was just one of those moments where you think, "What the hell is going on?" Watching it live, I'm thinking, "What? Dale, stop it, Dale, don't."
I felt a little bit like Eddie was thinking, "Keep going, Dereck. Keep going. Everyone's gonna love this."
You can see the look in Eddie's face, though. Oh shit! Here we go.
Yeah.
I think he might have been a bit worried that Regis Progress was sat too close to Dereck.
Yeah, especially when Regis piped up. So.
Regis wasn't having it.
Well, he settled down after a bit, though, didn't he?
He settled down after a bit, but initially he was like, "Hey, we're number one and number two."
Yeah,
we're number one and number two.
Dereck said he'd squash him.
Yeah,
it was only after Chisora threatened to squash him where Regis thought, "Well, I'll be a gentleman about this, and I shall comment no further."
Yeah, I think he probably got a kick in the leg from somebody when Dereck said, "Don't get me started."
I thought we were seconds away from a UFO in the form of a flying table.
Yeah, or a flying flying light welterweight fighter.
I thought Dereck now.
There is a thought of dwarf chucking.
Oh dear.
Not that it's a very politically correct thought, but maybe
little person
about giving it a go.
Just shut up before I squash you. Shut up before I squash you. So carry on.
Yes, he got some points though at the same time, didn't he?
Well, the thing is this. I mean, before I get on to that, I mean, I looked at the table, and Adam Booth looked very uncomfortable. I looked across at Kale Sutherland, however you pronounce his name, and he was gurning away, wasn't he? He was gurning away on that the old marching powder. It's on the old marching powder, Colombian marching powder, gurning away. His neck gets thicker every time I see him. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what neck exercise he's doing, but bloody hell, he should write a book on his neck exercise. I think it's all the gurning. I think it's actually strengthening his neck because it's getting thicker every time I see him. So Kale Sutherland's getting uncomfortable. And Eddie did the classic line when he said, "Yeah, let's throw this one to you. Let's throw this one over to you, Adam."
Yeah.
Oh, Kale, do you want to step in at this point? It's like a hot potato. It's like a hot potato. No, you have it. No, you have it. No, you have it. No, you have it. It was.
Yeah, well, Eddie's already dealt with the table. You remember that picture of him with his hands up and the table over his head?
It was crazy. It was crazy. I had to do a video on it immediately. Interrupt my lunch hour, do a video on it, bang it out. I was actually recording the damn thing live as it happened. That's how quick I was on it. I just went back a little bit, started recording, did a little bit of magic so I don't get copyrighted, and a little wizardry, little alchemy, little alchemy on it, and banged it out immediately. And what are we talking about? We're talking about what? We're looking at just under 2,000 views on a little incident. On the 2,000 views on a little minor incident, not even a skirmish.
Yeah, well, if people see a title that says Dereck Chisora loses it or something like that, everybody wants to see it straight away.
Straight away. I mean, I thought the lead story for this live was going to be what I've titled the Sun Smear Campaign on Anthony Joshua. I thought that was going to be the lead story, but it's like in the newspaper business. You just get something pop up and everything changes. Everything changes. John Dealey.
I'm still just laughing. Derek's just so reliable for an entertaining press conference.
So reliable.
But from a serious point of view, he has got a point.
He has got a very good point. Carry on.
The people with the bigger names are certainly him and Parker.
Yep.
I think it's a fight I'm looking forward to, and I'm looking forward to it even more now that Derek's been mouthing off.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, he's been mouthing off a bit at Parker as well, but the whole... If you want to be an aficionado of boxing skill, Dereck isn't necessarily the person for you, but he's a warrior. He will come and he'll fight. And
he's an entertainer. That's for sure.
He's an entertainer in a press conference every time.
Yeah.
But in the ring,
carry on.
He'll put it on the line in the ring as well. He will back it up.
Yeah.
Win, lose, or draw, Derek's going to fight and go out on his shield, isn't he?
100. 100. Big boys boxing.
Yeah. Like John says, I think Dereck does have some good points. Most of the revenue is probably going to be for the heavyweight dust-up.
Yeah.
I mean, no disrespect to Prograis and Taylor. They are, like Prograis said, number 1 and number 2 at light welterweight. But the fact of the matter is, unless you're a hardcore boxing fan, you don't really know who those guys are. So the fashion Derek's gone and done this, I don't think it's very professional, but wins Dereck professional anyway. He put Eddie Hearn, Kelly Sowlin. Was it Kelly Sowlin?
Yeah.
No, it was Kelly, and Adam Smith on the spot and embarrassed the shit out of them, really. But maybe it's going to get some action doing it that way because everybody knows now. So
this is all over. This is all over the internet on the sports channels. I mean,
I don't think Eddie was embarrassed one bit, to be honest. And in the interview with IFL afterwards, he looked pretty happy.
Well, I
wonder if he actually knew it was coming. I think David Hay knew it was coming, and maybe Eddie had got some kind of heads up.
Well, I know that I noticed that it seemed to me that Dereck Chisora had bullet points because he looked at his phone. He looked at his phone during his rant. He actually looked at his phone, and it seemed to me like he'd made the pertinent points that he didn't want to forget. And he looked at his phone during his rant, and to me, it seemed like he made bullet points. So, whilst I'm not suggesting that Eddie Hearn knew, I think it's safe to suggest that Eddie Hearn knows that or knew that Chisora wasn't happy, and he knows that Chisora is likely to express himself and express his unhappiness in a very public manner, like a press conference, for example.
I think Eddie knows that that's marketing gold as well.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
Yeah, it will be everywhere. I mean, basically, whatever Chisora agreed to, and Chisora. I don't know if you know that Chisora's mom's an accountant. Did you guys know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Do you know that?
Okay, Chisora's mom's an accountant, so Chisora has always been on his money. He knows his P's and Q's, and he knows where the decimal points go. So Chisora, for him, he would have agreed to a certain sum. He knows what that sum is, and that sum is unlikely to be paltry. But on top of that, he's thought about this further still, and he said, "You know what? This is BS. We're the real headliners. We're the real headliners. Me and Parker, we're the real headliners." And can you really argue with him?
Well, no. I mean, the whole thing of what he was actually trying to say is that the heavyweight division is what people want to see. It's always been what people want to see. How goes a heavyweight division goes boxing is a pretty old phrase. It's nothing new. It's only during the Klitschko era, really,
people turned up.
Turned off. And that was probably because of the grab, jab and grab.
Jab and grab. Yeah,
the jab and grab. That's why I turned off. That's why I turned off.
Yeah, to be honest, when Wilder first started making a bit of noise, I was hoping that he'd actually knock out Klitschko because I was sick of the jab and grab.
Yeah, clean cut.
So, you know, people are interested in heavyweight again.
Yeah.
And if boxing's going to get to anywhere near to the popularity it used to have, the heavyweight boxing scene needs to be vibrant and healthy.
Yeah, 100%. Big boys boxing, come in.
Yep, totally agree with that, John. It's always been the glamour division, but like you say, there was a lull over the Klitschko era. It was boring, let's be honest. And it wasn't the strongest era of heavyweights either. But how things are now, everybody's watching the heavyweight division closely. There's 4 guys that everybody's really interested in. And then the second tier of guys, there's a lot of competition there as well. And Parker and Chisora are definitely in that second tier. With a lot of attention being brought to this fight, I wouldn't be surprised at all if Prograis Taylor gets bumped down to chief support. Kelly Sauerland's not going to be happy about it, but be interesting to see what kind of contract they've signed. Do Parker and Chisora have to be chief support, or is that just what they've decided? Who knows?
Well, it seems as if John Dealey saw an interview with Eddie Hearn, and Eddie Hearn indicated that. Eddie Hearn indicated that there was some flexibility on that. There was some flex. Listen, we all know that the reason why Prograis v Taylor is the headline is because it's the final of the W World Boxing Super Series, WBSS. That's the reason why they are headlines. Now, the normal reason why someone is a headliner is because they're the biggest money generators on the card.
Agreed.
And that is not the case in this instance. So Dereck Chisora does have a legitimate gripe. And that takes us, you see Eddie Hearn, he's made a good move. He's made another good move. I mean, I mentioned last time out, when was it, a couple of weeks ago, when for the Lomachenko Campbell card, I mentioned that it was a very good model they were using right now. A very good model they had used in putting a big heavyweight clash directly under two of the lighterweight guys who were fighting on the main card. I suggested that was a very good model and one which he should continue, because once again, in that instance, the headlining card of the undercard, they were a big draw in their own right. And so it's a good model, and he's persisted with the model, not on my say so. This has been arranged for some time now. But he's persisted with that model, and I think the model works, and it's going to work, because generally speaking, I'm not going to go too deep into this on this occasion, because I have a whole dossier that I'm compiling on on why the majority of boxing fans in the UK, because it's not the case, I've done some research, it's not the case all over the world, but the majority of boxing fans in the UK, they're not overly fond of the lighter weight as a rule, although there are exceptions. Ricky Hatton is an exception, notable exception. And then you have other guys who've achieved a level of notoriety and a level of success in the lighter weights. I think you have your Amir Khans and your Kell Brooks, although they're more towards the middle because they're in the middleweight division.
Naz and Barry McGuigan were tremendously popular in
Naz and Barry McGuigan. So there have been exceptions to the rule.
I think the UK will get behind their fighters as long as there's a reason to get behind somebody.
Well, there have been exceptions to the rule, as we've pointed out. There's certain individuals who have broken through and become popular. But on the whole, the preference is for the bigger guys, big boys boxing. I'm going to come to you in a second, John. Big boys boxing. Why do you? Is it like that in New Zealand and down there in the Southern Hemisphere?
Yeah, down here, heavyweights at the moment are big because we don't have a lot else. We've got a couple of guys at cruiserweight, a few amateurs that are okay, but we don't really have anything below. I think our lowest one that I'm aware of that's on the international scene is like welterweight or 154. So, but we have a decent amount of heavyweights. We've got Hemi Ahio, we've got Joseph Parker, we've got Junior Farr, we've got another couple of heavyweights coming through as well. So, yeah, everybody who watches boxing down here pretty much knows the heavyweights inside out and then watches a couple of other divisions as well. But, you know, it's pretty much always been like that for boxing fans down here. We don't have many of us down here, but we had the likes of David Tua, Shane Cameron, Kelly Meehan as well, all heavyweights. So
yeah,
the focus on boxing in New Zealand is definitely heavyweights.
Yes, indeed. John Dealey, your observations.
I think the UK always has loved heavyweights. When I was a kid, Henry Cooper was still doing adverts on the TV, and his claim.
Splash it all over.
Pardon?
Splash it all over.
Splash it all. Oh yeah.
Brute 33, ladies and gentlemen, go and research it. Brute 33. I got some for my Christmas present. Carry on. It's an aftershave.
It's Brute for ages, isn't it?
Used to really attract the ladies. Carry on.
Didn't Frank Bruno take over Brute after?
Well, all I remember is that
Henry.
he got really popular because they had the soap on a rope as well. You know, you got that.
Brute was the gear.
You got that in your little Christmas box, your little Brute aftershave before you needed to shave. You got the deodorant and you got the soap on a rope before we had showers.
When everyone still had no central heating and bath.
I didn't even know what the rope was. I thought, why has this soap got a rope in it?
But I think with British fans, they'll get behind the fighter as well. If you're from their area or something like that, it's quite common.
Yeah.
But I think if there's not a reason to support a particular fighter, then by default, it's just the heavyweight boxing.
That's right.
I mean, look at the popularity of Frank Bruno, who certainly, I mean, nobody even really thought he was that good. He was just popular.
Very popular, highly popular.
And it's because he was a heavyweight and he was British champion. British champion used to mean a lot.
Yeah.
Being the heavyweight champion of Great Britain was a big deal. All Henry Cooper ever actually won. Yeah.
Yes, it was. I think that I'm not going to go into it. I don't want to go into it because I'm compiling information to do a big piece on the love, but mainly the lack of love for the lighter weight categories. Occasionally, one shines through and gets a lot of love, but generally, we in in certain countries, I'm not going to go too deep into the research project, but in certain countries, there is the lighter weights are not favored. And I'll give you a clue. In certain countries, the lighter weights are favored. That's a big, big clue, which I'm not going to go any further into it. I don't want to spill all the beans. I do want to, I should mention this comment here. You see, this is the other side of the coin with this Dereck Chisora thing. And it's a point that I've thought about. It's on the screen now. AOBZ said it would be disrespectful to put the final on the undercard. I've thought about that. And I think it's a good point. However, is it not disrespectful to the biggest draws on the card to put them on the undercard?
The alternative is pay Dereck Chisora and Joseph Parker a little bit more.
Dereck put that option out at the same time.
And there's a two-pronged thing. They can pay Joseph Parker and Dereck Chisora a little bit more, A, and B, make it a doubleheader. Call it a doubleheader. You've got two main events.
I think that's what Eddie was sort of intimating into IFL anyway.
Yeah, it's just a common sense. It's a common sense approach. Make it a doubleheader, co-main event. It's very simple. Sorry?
How often was a 140-pound fight headline anywhere?
Yeah, it doesn't. They don't.
It's not even, it's not even a historic division.
No. They don't.
No.
Dereck Chisora has a very, very valid point. There's no harm in putting. There's no harm in putting them on. There's no harm in making a co-main event. You've got an event with two main events. How about that?
Well, yeah. I mean, Katie Taylor fought to become undisputed on the undercard of AJ's fight.
Yeah.
Is that disrespectful?
No,
I don't think it was disrespectful. Was you disrespected, big boys?
No.
She wasn't even.
No.
She wasn't even like the fight prior to the heavyweight fight.
No, she wasn't even co-main. She wasn't even
close. So
nowhere close. So is it disrespectful? On the face of it, my initial response was, yeah, it's kind of disrespectful. But on the other hand, well, they're disrespecting the real draws, the bigger draws on the card. And the bigger draw on the card, it's really Dereck Chisora versus what's his name? Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker. Sorry? It's always the way I say it. That's always a comedy thing. It's a comedy thing. Comedy thing.
The Aussie chicken.
So I understand the positioning of the whole thing. It's kind of confusing. I understand the positioning. I understand why they put Prograis Taylor as the top billing, but on the other hand, I totally understand why Dereck Chisora is totally miffed, absolutely miffed, because it's smokes and mirrors. They're not really the headliners.
They can't headline that in London. The only way they could do it is in Glasgow.
Yeah, they could headline it in Glasgow. Yeah,
or is
how many people? 10,000 maybe.
The SSCC, whatever it is.
Yeah,
Glasgow.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, apparently,
what it holds.
None of the shows that Josh Taylor has headlined, he hasn't sold out in Scotland anyway.
Bloody hell!
So
I can't remember if he's Glaswegian or if he's from Edinburgh.
Well,
either way.
Dereck Chisora, I think we're all agreed. Dereck Chisora has a point, and to slide off that point onto onto another point, a little side point, which you're not going to dwell on for too long. There was a little side issue a couple of weeks back, a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Dereck Chisora, when the contracts were given out to Dereck Chisora and Joseph Parker to stop any quibbling or anything of that nature, Eddie Hearn let it be known to Parker's camp that Dereck Chisora was the A side. That means that they probably didn't give Parker's camp Higgins. They probably didn't give Higgins an exact figure, but they let it be known that Dereck Chisora is the A side. We're going to go around the panel. I'm going to start with, I think I know what Jono's view is going to be. So I'm going to start with you, John. Then we're going to go to Jono, and then I will finish it off. Over to you, John.
Well, A side's not based on who's the best fighter, who's got the best resume. A side is based on who generates the most money. If you're having the if you're having the fight in the O2, Dereck is the ticket seller. If you're having the pay-per-view in the UK, Dereck's the ticket seller. So for me, Dereck's the A side. Parker may be the more accomplished boxer. That's fine.
Short and sharp and precise. Jono, the New Zealand man. You're ripping Parker now. Come on, speak up for your boy. Speak up for your boy.
I honestly don't think it bothers Parker which way it is. He believes that he's the better boxer. He believes.
Let me interrupt you,
he's
Jono.
Yo.
I'm on mute. Let me interrupt you and then come back in. Surely there was chagrin on the part of Higgins. He wasn't very happy. Higgins was not very happy. I don't think the Parker camp are very happy. They're not very happy about that, or else they wouldn't have raised it. Carry on. Back to you, Jono. I just had to put that in there.
Well, yeah, they might not have been happy as being portrayed as the B side, because a lot of people think, oh, that means he's the underdog and all the rest of it. But the fact of the matter is, London is where Dereck Chisora is from. That's where most of his fan base is.
Yeah.
And like John said, he's the one who's selling the fight, pretty much. I mean, Parker is the draw to a degree because he was a former world champion. He's fought in several different places in the world, and people know who he is.
Yeah.
But when it comes to press conferences and building a fight, Joseph Parker's is about as boring as a potato. So, I'm sorry, Joe, but
you're not going to get what you know now, Jono.
Well, you know, he's a nice.
He doesn't listen to this. You're okay. You're okay.
No, he's a nice Christian boy who's got good manners, got respect for everybody, and that doesn't sell fights. So, end of the day for me, it's just Dereck Chisora gets to come out last. He gets to have his name first. It's Chisora v Parker. When it comes down to it, both guys have to get inside that 20-foot squared circle and fight as equals. So A side, B side doesn't mean squat to me.
Yeah. I thought you was gonna speak on behalf of. I thought you was gonna say that Joseph Parker should be the A side. Should Joseph Parker be the A side? Big Boys Boxing.
If it wasn't in London, maybe if it was in America, maybe Joe could be the A side. But like John said, Dereck's the one who's going to be bringing in most of the money for the fight. So he wants to be A side and have his name on the front of the poster. So be it.
And more money.
I mean, he's a well-accomplished boxer. He's been around for a fair while.
Yeah.
And more money. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know whether Dereck will be getting paid more than Joseph.
Well, that's what the A side is, though, isn't it? The A side gets more money.
Well, maybe.
I think Dereck will get paid.
Maybe.
Well, I think that's the point of the A side. That's the point of the A side. The A
he
side
might do.
I think that's the whole point, Jono. The A side gets more money.
Dereck's, like Raphie was saying, Dereck cares about that money.
Dereck cares a lot about that money.
That's what the outburst was about today.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I don't mind being not the last fight. He wants more money.
Yeah.
That's what he's bothered about.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about, really. I mean, that's what Dereck was talking. That's what the outburst was about. It was about the money.
Dereck will walk to the ring first and have his name second. If he's getting more money, he doesn't care.
Yeah, it's the money. That's what we're talking about, really.
Boxing. Boxing has always been, well, not always, but for a long time, it's been about the money for Dereck, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's never been about trying to capture a world title, pretty much since he lost to Vitali.
Yeah. Yeah.
Since then, it's been about the money. And from Joseph Parker's perspective, he's trying to build back to a world title shot. The money is not the most important thing at the moment. So maybe Dereck Chisora is getting paid more than Joseph Parker. I don't know. Unfortunately, we don't get to find out that stuff when the fights are in the UK. So,
yeah. Well, I think,
but I don't imagine Eddie'd be shortchanging Parker too much.
No. I'm not saying that Parker short. I'm not saying that Joseph Parker's just getting a 6-pack of Doritos. You know, that's not that's not the suggestion. But when it comes to A side, B side, it's about the money, isn't it? That's what A side means, more money in negotiations.
A side means the A side can draw more money, but whether it means they're actually getting paid more in the long run, I don't know.
I think that's what this whole thing is about. That's what this whole thing.
If you were the person who was doing the most sales on a sales floor, you would get paid the most money through commission. That's the whole basis of the A side. Of course. It's not based on who's the better boxer.
Well, that's commissions.
Yeah, but it's his commission effectively, isn't it? Your purse is based on what you sell.
It's a percentage. Yeah.
Your purse is based on what you sell.
Well, if it's a percentage, if it's a percentage, it's like a commission. But if it's not
it's like when Raphie's pointed out that he's not 100% on board with the idea that Wilder got paid 10 million for fighting Brazil. It's because it didn't sell enough to generate the money to pay Wilder that much money. So they're either making a loss or they're not paying him $10 million to fight Brazil. So when you say something's a business, it's because you sell it, you're selling the product, and the fighters are selling themselves as a product. And that's really what the A side means. It is actually who is the best salesman for whatever reason. AJ might not be a very charismatic, exciting person in press conferences, but he sells the most. So he is still the A side against Ruiz, even though Ruiz is the champion. Same reason.
I get what you're saying. On the poster, does it say Ruiz v Joshua or Joshua v Ruiz for the Clash of the Dunes?
It says Ruiz.
It says Ruiz v Joshua, but that
says Ruiz versus Joshua. Who do you think's the A side in that, Jono?
Oh, of course, I think Anthony Joshua's the A side. He's got the biggest drawing power, but after all the Mexicans getting behind Andy Ruiz, it could be starting to get close because he's like the king of Mexico at the moment.
If AJ loses, then Ruiz may well take over that spot as being the A side in boxing.
Agreed.
Yeah, but
as it stands.
Yeah, but you know the point I was getting at about the poster, though, eh? Because the A side is supposed to be the first name.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah. But I'm not trying to say you're wrong or anything. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate for both sides. Yeah,
John, we debated. It's good. It's healthy debate. It's good, clean.
you can tell me I'm wrong. I'm wrong all the time.
Yeah. No harm in
me too, mate. Me too.
He's wrong.
I have to fact check myself on a regular basis.
So ultimately, you see, this is what I knew there was more in Jono. I knew I could get more out of Jono. I knew there was more there. I knew there was more, Jono. I knew there was more. Yeah, so Jono, this is about.
You got to dig it out, mate.
You got to dig it out. I knew that this is about money, Jono. This Chisora Parker thing. It's about money. He doesn't want to be A-side just to say I'm the king of the castle. No, it's not about that. It's about money. It's about cold hard money. Cold hard money. The cheddar makes it better.
Yeah.
Nobody
I get that.
Nobody ever complained.
And you know, like I was saying, I don't think it matters too much to Parker because he's at a different point in his career. He's not chasing the money, he's chasing the opportunities to become second-time world champion, whereas Dereck Chisora is chasing the money. So if he wants to be A-side, if he makes the most money, so be it. Good for him.
Yeah. I think that Higgins didn't like that. Higgins didn't like it. Higgins complained that they were how can Chisora be the A side? Higgins clearly complained about it. He didn't like it. But you know, it's just one fight. Parker is
because his paycheck could
Parker is younger. Parker has got less miles on the clock. Parker's got less miles on the clock. So, you know, Parker has more fights ahead of him than Chisora. I think it's crucial to Chisora. This is my reading of the situation. I haven't got his phone bugged or anything. But my reading of the situation is that Chisora is clearly closer to the end of his career than Parker. And so when you get to that stage of your career, the money is very important. You're looking at your retirement fund.
I don't think Higgins likes losing to Hearn in a negotiation either.
No.
They're
competitive, healthy competitive.
Yeah. I think Jono's right in that Parker got paid a lot for fighting AJ.
Yep.
He's probably got quite a bit for fighting Dillian as well.
Yeah.
So he's probably rich enough to retire if he wanted to.
Yeah.
So his motivation probably is to do something.
Yeah.
And Dereck is just money motivated. That's who Dereck is.
He's just. I think
that's his personality.
I don't think he's that much more money motivated than anybody else, but he's just a bit more honest about it.
I don't think there's anything wrong with being money motivated.
Yeah, exactly.
Neither do I.
No, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I think that is Dereck's main concern.
Yeah.
I don't think he cares about. I don't think he cares if he wins, loses, or draws.
Yeah.
Dereck will fight.
Yeah.
I think Dereck likes fighting. I think he enjoys it.
Yeah.
But I don't think he cares about anything.
He loves it.
Yeah. I think he does care about winning because the more you win, the more you I'm just reading a message up the top there. The more you win, the more you earn.
But isn't Dereck earning more after losing to Dillian?
Yeah, but he would have earned even more if he'd have won to Dillian. Do you see what I'm saying? He's just he's an astute businessman. Okay. He's got good backing. You know, if your mom's an accountant, you're in a good position for education, financial education. Final words on the topic before we move on, John Dealey.
I like Dereck. I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
I've got Parker down probably as the favourite.
Yeah, absolutely. We should talk about that. Who's the favourite? Who's the favourite for this fight? In your right?
I think Parker is a far more skilled fighter. He's got a good chin. Dereck's getting older, and he's kind of got by on just sort of working and brawling.
Yep.
But he looks a bit nicer against Spilker. He started like he'd actually learned something since he'd left on Charles.
Oh, okay. So we need to touch on that as well then. Before we touch on the next thing, yeah, you're saying that you fancy Parker as the favorite.
I fancy Parker as a favorite, but I have got Dereck down as a live dog because he might do something.
Yeah. So and my prediction is Parker. I've got Parker winning that fight. I'd be happy for Dereck to win it, but I think Parker's the younger guy. I think he's the more skilled guy. What else? Yeah, he's younger and more skilled, I believe. But Dereck, I'm not ruling Dereck out because Dereck has knockout power. He's shown us that. Big Boys has joined us again. He dropped off by accident, I think.
Yeah, my phone died. Sorry, mate.
No problems, mate. Dereck, we're just doing the predictions now. I think Parker is the favorite. I have Parker as the favorite. He's the younger. He's I think you could say, the more skilled, arguably the more skilled. So I've got him as the favorite. However, I do think, big up D-Bro in the chat, I do think that Chisora could potentially cause an upset by winning.
For sure.
Over to you, big boys. Your prediction on the fight.
It's a tough call. It depends what kind of Joseph Parker is going to come to the ring, and what kind of Dereck comes to the ring. We've seen Dereck come to the ring on the odd occasion where he's not up for it, like when he fought Cabial. But Joseph Parker as well, he's had some problems with getting the dog out, and in the couple of recent lower level fights, he has brought a little bit of dog out in some situations, but not the kind of dog that he's going to need against Dereck Chisora. He's definitely going to need some real dog. Otherwise, he's going to have to stink the place out to beat him. And I don't want to see that.
No.
But definitely, I think Joe's the favorite.
Yep.
He's got the speed. He's got some pretty good skills. He's a lot more evasive.
Yep.
So if he wants to stand and trade with Dereck, he could still possibly win, but that's taking a hell of a lot more risk than he needs to.
Unnecessary risk, arguably.
Yeah. I think Joe should be trying to box for the first 6 rounds until Dereck slows down a bit and maybe a bit of zip comes off his punches, and then possibly try and take him out to make a statement later in the fight. But I wouldn't at all be surprised if Joe wins it on points. And there is the chance that Dereck could stop Joe, I think, within the first 6, but it'd have to be a punch that he didn't see coming. And those are always the ones that do the damage.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Okay. I think we've chopped that one up nicely. Let's go into the Sun article. Should I even pull up the Sun article? I hope I've still got it pulled up because it would be a nightmare trying to find it. Let me have a look for it. I hope it's right here. I hope it's right here. Don't have to dig it out. Damn it. Don't have to dig it out. Where is it? No, can't find it. I'm not going to look for it. Haha. Okay, so I'll just tell you what the article said. Okay, so there was a Sun article. As a matter of fact, I could just go ahead and look for the video. Won't even do that. I'll just tell you what it said. Okay, so the article in the Sun, the Sun newspaper, UK, said words to the effect. I've done a video on it, so anybody who's confused or wants greater detail on what the article actually said, or the title of the article, it actually said, let me get it up on my phone. Let me get it up on my phone. Let me get it up on my phone. Uno momento. Videos. Okay, so the article, the title of the piece was Anthony Joshua dismisses Saudi Arabia death penalty for homosexuals and says, if you can't come and watch me fight, and you can watch me on TV. Okay, let me see if I can get it up there. Low tech, Stone Age business. No, never mind. So ultimately, what the article is saying, and I'll read the title again so you can get the fullness of it. It's effectively saying Anthony Joshua dismisses Saudi Arabia death penalty for homosexuals and says if you can't come to Saudi, you can still watch me fight on TV. So effectively, what they're effectively trying to say is that Anthony Joshua is okay with the death penalty for homosexuals in Saudi Arabia. Okay, it's kind of multifaceted. My response to that was multifaceted, and I'll go into it. I'll go into it here. I'll go into it now. Okay, my response is as follows. I say this all in the video. I pull up the articles. Okay, so in 2017, the UK. Bear in mind that Anthony Joshua is being blamed for supporting. He's being blamed, and they're alleging that he's effectively supporting this type of punishment in Saudi Arabia. Okay, so my counteraction was as follows. I pulled up an article which showed that in 2017, the UK did 4.2 billion with a B, billion, 4.2, or was it 4.5? 4.2 billion worth of trade with Saudi Arabia. They received 1.8 or 2.8 billion worth of goods from Saudi Arabia. That left a net profit of somewhere in the region of 2 billion net profit from the UK doing deals with Saudi Arabia. I also pulled up another article. As we know, there is a conflict between Saudi Arabia and Yemen. Saudi Arabia are leading coalitions, landing airstrikes in the Yemen to fight people who they believe are their enemies. So I pulled up an article which said that looked into the dealings, the arms deals, the sales, the arms sales from the UK to Saudi Arabia. And the Court of Appeals found in favor of the people who brought the action against the government, the UK government, British government. And the Court of Appeals suggested that there should be an inquiry about 4.7 billion dollars worth, billion pounds worth of arms trades from the UK to Saudi Arabia. And then someone else brought up a very good point. There are thousands of workers from the UK who live and work in Saudi Arabia, making a living in Saudi Arabia. And so that's three-pronged attack. That's a three-pronged response. One, billions. UK does billions worth of business with Saudi Arabia every year. That's one. Two, UK sells billions pounds worth of arms to the UK, to Saudi Arabia every year. Three, there are thousands of UK citizens working in Saudi Arabia with the blessing of the British government. No problem. But Anthony Joshua goes to fight in Saudi Arabia, and he is somehow supporting the death penalty for homosexuals in Saudi Arabia. John Dealey, your response to the Sun article.
So what they've done is, as far, just to be clear, no one's actually asked AJ what his thoughts are on the death penalty for homosexuals in Saudi, have they?
Nobody has asked him that specific question.
No. Sun has made a very inflammatory article with a statement sounding as if AJ's been asked, "What do you think about the homosexual death penalty in Saudi Arabia?"
Correction. Let me step in. Let me correct myself. He may have been asked that question, and his response was, "If you can't go, then you can stay at home and watch it on TV in the UK."
Because that's what I'm confused about. Because I don't think he has been asked that question.
Right. Yeah.
I think that's the way that they've done it. But I just wanted to double check with you because I'm not 100%.
I'm not 100% sure on the question that was asked.
It reads. I mean, I would be shocked if AJ's people actually let someone ask him that question. And if AJ was asked that question, I don't think he'd handle it that badly, seeing as he's so well trained for the media.
Yeah.
I think he'd just sort of fend it up and say nothing. Cannot believe AJ's going to say, "Oh, well, if you can't see me because you might get killed for being a homosexual, just watch me on TV. Fine. Don't worry about it."
Well, I'm suggesting to you, John, that, of course, they're journalists and they work for the Sun, so lying is a part of their repertoire. So I'm suggesting to you that they asked him a question loosely along the lines of the question they suggested they asked him. Maybe different wording. But even if he did say that, even if they did ask him that question and he did say that, then another way of answering that, another way of interpreting that is saying, well, it's better to be safe and watch it at home in the UK than go over to Saudi and risk your liberty.
But the other thing that I've just been looking at while you go, because I listened to your show about it anyway.
Yeah.
And I definitely think that they're really trying to put something on AJ that isn't anything to do with AJ. Just had F1 events there. Black Eyed Peas have been there. Mariah Carey's been there.
Formula One have been there.
Yeah.
50 Cent's been there.
All sorts of stuff. So I think also Saudi's actually trying to put in reform laws. There's a big push for them to try and improve and liberalise their legal system at the moment. And having the world eyes on them is more likely to push that through than to hinder that process. But AJ's not responsible for the laws of the country. Did anyone say to AJ when he went to fight in Madison Square Garden, "What do you think about Black Lives Matter? What do you think about going to a country where a police officer can shoot a black man going about his lawful business and not get a reprimand for it?"
Good point.
No one said that to him, did they? Also, Tyson Fury's made quite a large number of very homophobic comments. Where are the damning articles about Tyson Fury in the Sun? Because I've had a look, and the closest I can get to it is them talking about when he refused to answer journalists' questions about his homophobic comments and anti-Semitic comments when he announced he was coming back from boxing after he got banned by UCAD. But they didn't really go in on him when he was being on PC in the press. So it seems like a bit of a double standard to me.
Yeah, indeed. Big boys boxing.
Yeah, man, I'm just having a look at the article now, and to me, Anthony Joshua, like you say, he's well trained with media, and if asked a political question about another country's laws, he gave the perfect answer and promoted his pay-per-view in the UK at the same time. If you can't come and watch it, obviously implying if you're gay and you're worried about coming to Saudi Arabia, you can watch it at home. So where's the issue?
Exactly. Mundo. Watch it at home. Stay safe. Stay safe and watch it at home if you can't go.
And he also didn't give an opinion on whether he supports or doesn't support another country's stupid laws. So well done, Anthony.
Yeah, absolutely. You see, thousands of UK citizens working in Saudi Arabia. No problem. Formula One, owned primarily by Bernie Ecclestone. Is he still alive? I don't know. He was alive at one point. Bernie Ecclestone. He was married to that young woman. Young woman. And now she's a billionaire. Now she's divorced him. Right. Now he's a UK citizen, British born and bred, English. Bernie Ecclestone. I don't know if he's still alive. I don't know. The arms being sold to fund to Saudi Arabia to fund their war against the Yemen. No problem. Trade with Saudi Arabia from Britain, UK. No problem. Anthony Joshua fighting in Saudi Arabia, somehow anti-homosexual. Disgusting piece written by The Sun.
Yep.
Absolutely disgusting and repulsive is my statement. Final words on that topic, John Dealey.
Yeah, I'm just going back to the article now. It's not AJ's job to be lobbying for any particular issue.
Yeah.
And if there was an issue that he was going to be most affected by, the one that I brought up about Black Lives Matter in America was probably a bit closer to his heart.
Why bring up an issue that doesn't affect a man and somehow try to pretend that will be close to his heart? Why do that? Why do that? And you can see the trap there already. If he said, well, that issue is not close to my heart.
Well, if AJ has got a vice, it seems to be an eye for the ladies, if anything.
Right. So, yeah. So why didn't I ask him about women having to cover their faces? That would have been more appropriate. I say it was an...
I don't think they do anymore, though.
Only the Saudi woman have to. If you're European, you still have to wear a what's the thing that goes over your head? A burqa.
Hijab, burqa.
Yeah.
Are you
sure that don't have to cover their face?
Because they've been putting a lot of change in the law now. Because they're letting women drive now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're driving through a lot of change. I'm not sure you have to wear a full hijab.
Right.
Yeah, that was just the last I heard. But like you say, things are changing all the time there at the moment. So
all the time over there. So yeah. So firstly, they shouldn't have been asking him a question on a topic which doesn't directly pertain to him. Anyway, arguably, there are other injustices taking place in Saudi Arabia, which perhaps would have been closer to his heart. The abuse, the human rights abuse of many peoples from many different lands, considered third world countries, Indonesia, places like Indonesia, India, Pakistan, and certain places in Africa from where he hails. So if they wanted to ask him about human rights injustices in general, then perhaps that would have been a more appropriate question. So for me, Raphael Dawkins, I say to The Sun, get my hand in. Let me get my hand in. Where's the finger? Where's the finger? This is my message to The Sun. Can't even get it in the... Yeah, that's the long finger of Raph. That is the long finger of Raph. This is my message to you, The Sun. Trying to besmirch a sportsman playing his sport legally in a country that you do billions of pounds worth of business. Other people, other UK citizens work in Saudi Arabia, and it's not a problem. But Anthony Joshua goes over there and he is somehow anti-homosexual.
It was actually a BBC reporter that asked him the question.
Okay.
And they do have a tendency to promote certain sections of society.
Right, okay.
Disproportionately to their makeup of society.
Which is wrong.
Which happens to be that area that they were asking Anthony Joshua about.
Right. Okay. Which in itself is wrong to be promoting something disproportionate.
I haven't watched EastEnders for a long time
because of certain.
I just don't watch EastEnders, but the last time I had to watch it, the number of ethnic minorities compared to the people of alternative lifestyle choices was much higher.
Right.
And if you go to the East End of London, which I do on a regular basis,
right,
you will see a lot more people of ethnic diversity than you will necessarily of lifestyle diversity. Yeah.
Right.
So that's the BBC's agenda.
An agenda is being pushed which is not representative of the makeup of society, percentage-wise.
Yes.
Jono, Big Boys Boxing, your final words on this topic before we move on.
I think that the Sun are desperate for content, and they have pretty much made their own story up for some content, and it's disgusting. It's just disgusting, and it's not something that the Sun hasn't done in the past either. They've done it plenty of times, so it is what it is. One of my favorite sayings: "A fart in the wind."
Indeed. But you see, sometimes I think it's a bit more than a fart in the wind. With all due respect, I think it's a bit more than a fart in the wind. It's when you have an organization trying to besmirch a man's character.
Oh, sorry, I meant from Anthony Joshua's point of view.
For real. When you have an organization trying to besmirch a man's character when they have absolutely no foundation to do so. No foundation to do so. UK does business, Saudi Arabia, to the tune of billions per year. They have thousands of UK citizens legally working in Saudi Arabia, no problem. They sell billions of pounds worth of arms to Saudi Arabia. So they can just suck that fart in the wind. Breathe that fart in the wind in. Breathe it in. Breathe it in. Breathe it in. You see, my problem with it is that you have these articles being written by the spineless and being sold to the mindless. And there are some people who don't think too well. There are some people who don't think too well who will read that shizzle and take it to heart, take it in. And I think that's why sometimes you have to counteract shizzle like this with cold, hard logic. And those are my final words on that particular topic. Had to address that. Nigel Benn, the man from England. He now lives in a land down under where women, I don't know the words to that song, so I'm not going to try. Lives in a land down under. He has been out of the ring for 23 years. Smash that like button, folks, and follow me on Twitter. And if you follow me on Twitter, like my things on Twitter if you like them. Okay, so the Twitter link is in the description box. Okay, also feel free to donate. And all the details are in the description box. So Nigel Benn, out of the ring for 23 years, is due to announce his comeback. Apparently, that will take place he's coming to UK, stay with his son, Conor Benn, and the announcement is due to take place within the next 2 weeks. His opponent has not been named, but it is apparently someone. Let me read this. Oh dear. Okay, some private messages I'm receiving. Most unfortunate news, but nobody is dead. Okay, so his opponent is due to be announced within the next 2 weeks when he comes to the UK from Australia. And apparently his opponent, who has not been named, was a WBA, I believe. Was it WBC or WBA? He was a WBA champion. And his opponent last fought around 2 years ago. I'm assuming his opponent has retired and come back, maybe retired more than once and come back, but the opponent's last fight was as recent as 2 years ago. John Daly, do you want to get into this first?
Well, I was a big fan of the Benn, Collins, and Eubank era.
Yeah.
Don't do it. That's the biggest comment. Don't ruin it now.
Yeah.
He's going in at light heavy as well, isn't he?
Yeah, allegedly.
So his biggest weakness as a fighter was probably his chin. He's going up a weight class. And one thing that definitely isn't going to get any better with age is your chin.
That's for sure.
So it's got disaster written all over it for me. But someone needs to talk him out of it. That's what Frank's daughter did to him when Frank Bruno tried to come back.
Yeah. His
daughter guilt tripped him into staying safe.
Very attractive lady, by the way, but carry on.
Be careful around Frank, Raphie.
No, with all the respect,
I'm not joking. I'm just joking.
know, but I'm just sending a message out there. I'm very respectful around my daughters, Frank.
Because Frank is looking in good shape still.
Frank is looking in very good shape, but
I wouldn't want to tussle with Frank if he's.
We did share a nice firm handshake. I think I came out to be pretty well.
I certainly wouldn't want to be sparring with Frank.
No. Even today.
No. What is it? I mean, he's in good nick.
He's in very good nick. He's kept himself. The thing I like about Frank is a fitness freak.
He always was, though, wasn't he?
Yeah, but not all boxers are. Some boxers, they retire and they become absolute balloons.
Some of them don't have to retire to become balloons.
Yeah.
Look at Tank Davis between fights. He's giving Ricky Hatton a run for his money.
Ricky Hatton a run for his money. Look at Nazim. Look at the Prince.
Prince would be a heavyweight if he was to do a comeback now, wouldn't he?
An absolute balloon. I didn't realize how big he'd got until I saw a picture of a friend of mine standing next to him. And he is a balloon, hot air balloon.
He could fit a full tray on his belly.
Yeah.
He's got that big.
Yeah, he's built for TV dinners. Just rest the tray on just perch the tray on the top of the belly. Yeah.
And I think Nigel is probably in good shape. It's not about the shape, Nigel. You're in your 50s. You're going to be taking on bigger men than when you're in your prime.
Yeah.
How old is he? 53?
54. 53, 54.
Don't do it. No. I can analyze it, go through it all, boy. I can't see it ending well.
Your chin doesn't really get tested until you're in there. Your
and
chin doesn't really get,
isn't going to get any better.
And it's not a good place to test it. It's not going to get better. It's not a good place to test it. Big boys boxing.
I don't want to see him in the ring, to be honest. Nigel Benn should not be boxing. How old is he now?
53, 54.
50, yeah. Don't do a Roy Jones, man. Don't kill your legacy.
No.
It's if you go and start losing fights or even looking bad against mediocre opposition, everyone's gonna start remembering you not as the Nigel Benn that we remember him as. And what else has he got besides his legacy? I think that's one of the most important things for a boxer once they've retired is to stay retired.
Yeah, absolutely. Son of God, Andre Ward. He's not over it yet. So a better example would be perhaps Marvin Hagler. He wanted to retire. The Petronelli brothers who managed him, according to the documentaries I've seen, they talked him into taking one more fight with Sugar Ray Leonard. He wanted to fight Sugar Ray Leonard some years earlier. Sugar Ray Leonard invited him to a function. They thought he was going to announce the fight, And then Sugar Ray Leonard announced in the ring, while I think Marvin Hagler was standing next to him, that he is retiring. That's when I stopped being a fan of Sugar Ray Leonard. He was my favorite at the time. And then I said, you know what? That was a punk move.
Mm.
That was a sucker move. And then when he came back and he beat, well, I didn't know about that till later. It's only history. It's only looking back when I found out about that actual event. But when he fought and beat Marvin Hagler, years after Marvin wanted the fight and years after they talked about the fight, and after he'd done his calculations, Sugar Ray Leonard had done his calculations, said, yeah, I can take him now. I can take him now. Marvin Hagler, apparently, according to the documentaries I've watched, he wasn't interested in the fight because he knew from his previous fight or his fight before that no, he wasn't on his A game anymore, and he wanted to retire. But the Petronelli brothers, who were managing him, convinced him and training him, convinced him that he was good. He was good. Go ahead, Marvin. Go ahead, Marvin. I think it was a money thing for them. They wanted their last payday. They wanted their last big payday, and they talked Marvin into it. Marvin took the fight and lost like he suspected would happen because he wasn't on his A game anymore.
Have you seen the interview with Sugar Ray talking about why he decided to take the fight?
No, maybe not. What did he say?
He took Marvin out for dinner.
Yeah.
Marvin was talking about how he wasn't really motivated to keep fighting.
Carry on. Yeah, I've seen that. Carry on.
How he wasn't motivated to keep fighting. He was getting ready to retire. He was pretty much done. Sugar Ray said, that's when I decided to fight him because that's when I knew I could win.
Yeah. That's
he kind of
foul. It's foul and the thing about Sugar Ray is that he was so proud of his cunning. He was so proud of his cunningness that he would actually admit that and say that.
He fought cunning, didn't he? Last minute of every round.
Yeah. I don't mind being cunning in the ring with your skills, but cunning outside of the ring and trying to con people and then listening to a man tell you that no, he's not got it no more. Man confiding in you, no, I haven't got it anymore, blah, 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 and then saying, yeah, now's when I want to fight him. That. Cunning in the ring I can respect, as long as it's within the rules of the game. I can respect that. Cunning outside of the ring, nah, that gets no respect from me.
Well, I'm not trying to get...
No, I know you're not, but I'm just saying my position on cunning, and I'm just clarifying my position on cunningness, the kind of cunningness, fighting cunningly, cleverly, within the rules of the game, 2 thumbs up. Just being a cunning son of a gun outside of the ring, that gets no respect from me. And I even at a young age, I sensed he conned Marvin Hagler. He was cunning with Marvin Hagler outside of the ring, and I don't like that. Sugar Ray Leonard went from being probably my favorite fighter to somebody that I just don't admire anymore. His abilities as a fighter, yeah, exactly, but his ways outside. His actions outside of the ring, just too sly for me to admire. Big boys boxing.
Yeah, I don't really have too much more to say on that one, unfortunately. It's just sad when you see these guys coming back from retirement, man. And I hate to see it.
Yeah.
God forbid something happens to him, and
exactly.
And you're definitely more prone to that sort of thing as you get older as well. I mean, I just read the article, and he's 55. So.
Oh my gosh.
Far out.
Oh my gosh. He's a few years off his bus pass.
Yeah.
He's away from his bus pass.
Super gold.
Do not do it, Nigel. I'm following you on Instagram now. Do not do it. I'll send you a message later. Do not do it.
In fact, everybody should get on his Instagram and send him that same message.
Yeah. Don't do it, Nigel. Don't do it. You can call him Nigel. You've known him a long time. You can call him Nigel. Don't do it, Nigel. I mean, you see, he's one of the fortunate ones, because he's only as a result of the article where I went to his Instagram and looked through some of the pictures. He's got a lovely family. He's got a lovely family down there in Australia, loads of them. Connor is a twin, which I hadn't realized. He's got a lovely twin sister. They all go to church on a Sunday down there in Australia. So he's raising them right. Lovely home, lovely lifestyle. They make investments, buying properties and renting them out and stuff. And he just wants that one last thrill. He just wants that one last thrill. But it's that one last thrill that can do you in, mate. Do not do it, Nigel. Don't do it, mate.
I tell you what, Nigel, you're in Australia. There's awesome big game fishing down there. If you want to buzz, take up big game fishing, man.
Yeah.
Stay away from boxing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutement. Absolutement. Okay. What time is it? It is. What time do we start? 9. Okay. I think we're coming up to our last topic. Our last topic. Which one is it going to be? Give me a second. Let me think about this. Okay. Let's cover the weekends. Let's cover the weekend's fights. Let us cover the weekend. Am I correct in thinking that it's Fury v Otto Wallin this weekend, or is that wrong?
Sure is.
14th,
It is. Yep.
It is the 14th. Okay, so it is Fury versus Otto Wallin on the 14th, which is this weekend coming. Fury v. I'm going to hand it over to you, John.
I've got Wallin as a favourite. He's a really dangerous, hard-hitting southpaw. Worthy number one challenger for the lineal title.
Yeah. Well, he's got to be a good fighter because Tyson Fury, the lineal, has chosen him to be.
Isn't he number 2 in the WBO?
Number four in the WBA.
He's just fought the second ranked, and he's just taking his way through the rankings now.
Well,
Schwartz was number 2 in the WBO, wasn't he?
WBA.
Oh, okay.
Number 4 in the WBA is Otto Wallin. You're talking about Schwartz. Schwartz was number.
Yeah, he's working his way through the top 10 of the heavyweight division.
I got you. It's late.
Getting late, Raphie. Yeah.
Getting late. Otto Wallin, ranked number 4 in the WBA, undefeated. Southpaw. Wilder is a orthodox, which is conventional. Wallin is a left-hander. I don't see the logic in it. Share your views, John. Share your views. Otto Wallin, Tyson Fury, lineal champion.
Well, Tyson doesn't fight very many good quality guys. And as far as I'm concerned, his record is 1 draw and 1 win against top 10 opposition. And I personally just think he's a bit smoke and mirrors, like his style of boxing, but probably a bit controversial, seeing as a lot of people think he's the most skilled boxer.
This is Raphie Hawkins Combat Radio, John. You can say what you like, mate.
I'm gonna say it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a Fury fan. I don't like him. I thought the art of boxing was to be hit, was not to be hit, but to be in a position to hit someone, not be in a position to faint.
Pretend as if he hit him.
It's like watching a fat man play Tig, watching Tyson Fury fight for me.
You heard it here, folks. Raphie Hawkins Combat Radio. Watching Tyson Fury fight is like watching a fat man play Tig. I like that.
And for the Americans, if you don't know what Tig is, I think you guys call it tag.
Okay, yeah. Tag, or some of them call it touch butt.
Only if the girls are playing.
Watching Tyson Fury fight is like watching a fat man play touch butt.
Oh, that won't go down well in Saudi Arabia.
That's why his fight's not there. That's why his fight can't be staged there. He runs the risk of facing the death penalty.
Oh my gosh. Big boxing. Tyson Fury versus Otto Wallin, giving Otto Wallin the chance to become lineal champion of the whole wide world.
Otto Wallin is going to get stopped within 6.
Yeah.
Otto Wallin is a bit of a boxer.
Mhm.
He's a big dude. He can throw a lot of feints, throw a decent jab. He's got a decent right hand. But the problem is everything that he does well, Tyson does better, and he's bigger. So I can't see Otto Wallin landing too much on Fury for starters, but I don't think he's got enough volume to make Fury work enough to do anything. I mean, it's going to be, for me, a couple of rounds of feeling out from Tyson Fury. Then he's going to start pouring it on and do what he did to Tom Schwartz. And, you know, I used to be a pretty big Fury fan, but since he signed with Top Rank and he's been fighting opposition that he shouldn't be fighting, I'm getting turned off. And the more and more he talks in the media without backing things up, it's getting more and more turned off. He's going to be the guy that people remember who had so much potential, but at the way he's going, he's not fighting the opposition he should be fighting. And it's sad. I want to see him fight Wilder. I want to see him fight Anthony Joshua, Andy Ruiz, Joseph Parker, Dillian White. I want to see him fight those guys. I don't want to see him fight guys that haven't been proven. I don't want to see him fight guys that he knows he can beat quite easily. Simple as that.
Yeah. You see, how many fights has Tyson Fury had this year, 2020?
This will be his second win.
His second fight in 2020. Okay, and that stands to my point. Okay, so all this time Tyson Fury is spending fighting ridiculously subpar opponents. This is time that you'll never get back.
Yep.
You won't get this time back. He's 29, 30 now, 29, 30, just had a birthday, whatever. That's a year. That's a year in his career gone, where he spent fighting subpar opponents. I think this is going to show up on his record. It's going to show up on his record when you boxing historians go back to analyze his career. I don't think this is going to be swept under the rug.
No.
It's going to be swept. 2020 is not going to be swept under the rug. It will be noted. It will be registered in the history books that Tyson Fury took a turn in 2020.
The interesting thing for me is, will it show that he should have been stripped of his titles for failing the drug test in the first place?
It has to be shown. It has to be shown. I mean, I've made my mark in the history books by making a documentary, 2-part documentary about his drug fail and that period.
He shouldn't have been in the ring with Vlad anyway.
He should not have been allowed to be in the ring with Vitaly. I mean, Vladimir. Vlad. He shouldn't have been in there. He shouldn't have been allowed. He should have been on a drug suspension.
And
yeah,
it was only how many months between the Hammer and Vlad fight? Because he probably still had residual benefits from the nandrolone in his system.
Yeah. It was that was Hammer's earlier in the year. The Vlad fight was in the September, I think. So 6 months. So that's you're still looking at residuals.
So there's that. Besides Vlad and Wilder, is he fought that's any good?
I don't know.
Chisora's probably the best name on his record after that.
Chisora's
the best
outside of the Vlad win. Chisora is Fury's best win outside of the Vlad win.
Yep.
It's not very. I'm sorry, but that's not overly impressive. Is that overly impressive to you, John?
Well, no. No. I mean, I'd say that Chisora is probably his best performance because at least he got stuck into that fight.
Yeah, he did get stuck in.
The Vlad fight, I don't think he would win the rematch. Vlad won the last 2 rounds. Once he realised there was nothing coming back and Vlad opened up on him, Fury was getting hit.
Yeah.
And I think Vlad packs enough to get Fury out of there.
And of course, you see, it's another issue I have. He never gave Vlad the rematch.
No, but I mean, that would have. I think he didn't give the rematch because he knew what was happening with UCAD.
Yeah.
There was a podcast I listened to when Fury came out with the injury, pulling out of the rematch. And they were suggesting that the injury he was showing online was makeup rather than a real injury.
I remember that. It's a vague memory, but I remember that.
And then not long after that, the UCAD stuff came out. And then he went totally off the rails. And I'm actually suspicious if it was on purpose.
Yeah.
Because all the talk ever since has been cocaine. Oh, he was doing cocaine and everything else. Nobody ever talks really a lot about the fact that he's a steroid abuser.
Yeah, steroids thing kind of got swept under the carpet to an extent, but only to an extent because there are people out there who like to investigate. There are investigative people like you and I, and there are people who like to make documentaries on such matters, like I have done. Big Boys Boxing. Is Tyson Fury's record impressive?
No. I mean, the win over Vlad was impressive, particularly at the time. Nobody thought he could beat him.
Correct.
The draw with Wilder, it was a great fight to watch.
Yeah.
I thought it was the wrong decision, but besides those two fights, there's nothing to write home about. I mean, the second fight against Chisora was impressive, the win, but it's Dereck Chisora. I mean, he's a gatekeeper and has been for a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, even that there was a fight he had. Was it for the British title? What was his name? John. Can't remember.
You're on about that guy that put him down, aren't you?
He fought the same guy twice.
Yeah, he got put down by him in one of them.
In the first fight, I thought it was pretty much close to a draw, or the other guy won.
Yeah, I know the fight you're talking about.
It was John someone, I can't remember his name.
John looking for it now, but yeah, carry on to your point. Yeah.
Yeah. Until he steps in against some of these legitimate top 10 guys now, we don't know if he is the best boxer in the world or not. Claiming that he is just because he's got a invisible belt doesn't make him the best in the world. So, like I said when I was talking before, he's talking too much and not backing it up at the moment. Yeah. But I've also just looked at his box rec, and he's actually 31 now, and he has the same birthday as me.
Wow.
And it's John McDermott you're talking about.
John who?
McDermott.
That's it.
John McDermott. Whatever the hell happened to John McDermott?
I don't think he was ever that good, Raphie.
No,
he shamelessly ducked David Price.
McDermott did? Or
no,
Fury?
Tyson ducked David Price for the British title, vacated it, and then said he was Irish, and then went and got the Irish heavyweight title.
Damn.
Okay.
I mean, it is before Price got knocked out by Tony Thompson.
That was when Price was...
Yeah, and I would like to see Pricey fight Tyson, because I'll give him a chance. If he can do what he did against Allen and actually box, he hits a lot harder than Tyson. Pricey does pack a punch.
He does pack a wallop.
He's just got to stay away from the beer and pies, and he stands a chance.
Yeah, he's another one who's got a fondness for the old steak and kidney. Yeah. I can't even remember what the original question was.
Fights of the weekend is what we're looking at.
Yeah, Tyson the weekend, Otto, Wallin. Tyson, more skilled fighter, yes, but a lot of smoke and mirrors. He lives off the fact that he beat Klitschko, which was a very good win. Not going to lie. Can't deny him. Can't downplay that. Didn't think he'd win it, but I heard about the fight, and I never watched the fight for years because I heard it was a stinker.
He didn't do what he said he was going to do in the build-up, though.
What did
The
he say?
whole way in the build-up, I'm going to knock Klitschko out. I'm going to knock Klitschko out. I'm going to knock Klitschko out. Did he actually throw a punch with anything on it in that fight?
At any point. No.
It's funny though. How often do we see Tyson do what he says he's going to do?
Yeah, very, 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 very rarely, ever, if ever. So Tyson Fury, he lives off the fact that he beat Vladimir Klitschko. Is that a large accomplishment? 100%. It was a large accomplishment. But the operative word there, ladies and gentlemen, is was. It happened 4 years ago now?
2015.
2015, 4 years ago, probably to this month. 4 years ago. That was his biggest accomplishment.
And look how he's moved it on to Wallin.
And then he came out of the game. Well, he shouldn't have even been in the ring against Klitschko. The British Boxing Board of Control kept it secret that he had failed a drug test. And Klitschko later said, had he known, he wouldn't have granted him the opportunity to be in the ring with him. Of course, he tested positive for cocaine around the same period he was fighting Klitschko. So he was still abusing drugs in the year of 2015. Of course, he popped dirty for nandrolone earlier in that year. And we have to say, well, how much of that, the benefits of taking steroids earlier in the year, how much did that benefit him later in the year? And of course,
best he's ever looked against
the best he's ever looked. And of course, had the proper procedure been followed, he would have been under a suspension, at least for 6 months, probably for years, but could have been for 2 years. So there is
UCAD will give you 2 years for that.
UCAD will give you 2 years. There is no way that Tyson Fury should have been in the ring with Vladimir Klitschko. So even the win itself is tainted, as was his sample. So he shouldn't have been in the ring with Vladimir Klitschko. To me, that's there's a big asterisk on the Vladimir Klitschko win on that basis. Would you disagree with that, Jono?
Not at all, man. Not at all.
John Daly, would you disagree with that?
I'm a proponent of that argument.
There should be a very big, at the very least, there should be an asterisk on Tyson Fury's victory against Vladimir Klitschko, if not a line drawn through it.
If it's down to me, I'd have it as a no contest.
If the Olympic medalists who are found guilty of abuse even years after the event, drug abuse, they have to return their gold medal. And so to me, at the very least, there should be an asterisk on Tyson Fury's win on Vladimir Klitschko. If not, a line drawn through it. No contest. That fight should be ruled a no contest. That's not just being bitter. That's just being honest. You can't have drug abusers abusing and then being rewarded. No way, no how. That fight should be that might be my next video. Won't be the next one. I got scheduled in line.
It's for the build up though for fight week.
We have things in line. I have things in line. Okay, so my prediction on that. Otto Wallin for the upset.
Are you paying for the pay-per-view, Raphie?
My contributors have not contributed. So we will not be covering that fight unless my contributors contribute.
Maybe they don't feel it's value for money.
Maybe they don't. But that's a good point you raise. Where is the donation link? So the donation link, if anybody wants to see me cover that fight, if you want to see a live coverage of that fight, then the link for that is right here. And where is it? I can't see damn thing. Oh, I haven't pressed the button. Press the button. Okay, there you go. You want to see that fight? Then you simply go to the description box, click the button, chuck any money's worth, the equivalent of a pint of beer. Chuck that in, lob that in, and then you are sorted. What are you saying about super chat? No, I'm saying go to the link in the description box if you want to see me cover the fight, if you want to see us cover the fight, if you want to fight companion, and boom. You know, if enough people do that, then we'll cover the fight. You guys funded the last pay-per-view, which was, of course, Lomachenko versus Campbell. And that was funded by you guys. So if you guys want to see the fight, then boom, smash the donation button. It's a one-click PayPal. Very, very easy to do. Ain't got PayPal. Well, never mind me, old China. How do you buy things online? Anyway, moving on swiftly. What's the other fight we're covering? We're looking at Spong versus Usyk. Tyrone Spong, from the land of Suriname, South America, was colonized by the Dutch. And that's why, you'll hear him speak like this, He speaks like this, like the Dutchman, because he don't come from the Dutch land, but he come from a country which was colonized by the Dutch, And so they speak Dutch. They speak, what's the name it's called? Netherlands.
Netherlanders, yeah.
Yeah. He's a Netherlander. He's a Netherlander from Suriname. And they love the kickboxing over there in the Netherlands. And he's an accomplished kickboxer. Very accomplished kickboxer, but he was a middleweight. He was a middleweight to light heavyweight. Now he's heavyweight. But I remember him from his kickboxing days, and I always consider him as a middleweight. He's a blown-up heavyweight. He's around 6'2". He's around 31, maybe 31, 32. So he is quite a seasoned age for a combat fighter. And he is taking on Usyk from Ukraine. Usyk from Ukraine. Spong is undefeated in boxing, 14-0, but he has never had any really high caliber opponent as to this date. And so now he's taking on one of the most accomplished boxers in the form of Alexander Usyk. What say you, John Dealey?
How bad was Usyk's injury that pulled him out of the fight earlier in this year?
Bad enough to pull him out of the Takam fight. Takam went and
Did he have to have surgery?
I don't know.
He tore his bicep, didn't he?
Yeah, they said it was a bicep tear, so there would have been some kind of significant damage, but it can't have been a full muscle tear. Otherwise, he'd be out for at least a year.
Yeah.
Because it just seems a bit pointless. I don't think this guy is getting you ready for 6'5" guys with 80-odd inch reaches.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he beat Joe Joyce, but a very fast cruiserweight beating the slowest heavyweight isn't necessarily a good indication of how he would fare against Deontay Wilder, as an example.
Yeah, he beat Junior Farr in the amateurs as well. He's not exactly the slowest heavyweight around.
Well, how big is he though?
He's big.
6'5".
Is he?
Yeah.
I don't really know Junior.
Yeah, he's a New Zealand guy, isn't he? Samoan?
Tongan.
Tongan.
New Zealand born Tongan. Yeah.
Okay. It just doesn't seem like it's really getting him ready for heavyweight boxing. That's kind of my point.
Well, he did used to spend quite a bit of time in Vladimir Klitschko's camp as well, and used to spar a lot with him. So I don't think it's that foreign to him. So maybe that's one of the reasons why he's not too worried about getting some huge heavyweights in there for practice. But
if he just wants to test out the arm to see if it's working, then that's the only explanation for this fight I can really see. Because otherwise, it's just. I think Bellew might have posed a bigger threat, to be honest.
Well, I think this fight, I think he's resided to the fact that he's not going to be next to challenge for the 3 belts at the same time. Looks like Pulev's going to be next to fight the winner of
I
Joshua.
think that
versus
depends
Ruiz.
who wins that AJ fight, to be honest.
Oh, of course.
I think if Ruiz wins, then I think Eddie will be doing everything he can to push Ruiz to get them to drop the belt.
Same with Pulev. If Joshua wins, then he'll be trying to push the IBF to strip Joshua.
No,
So
I think they'll fight
You reckon?
Pulev. I think they'll fight Pulev, and then Usyk will let them fight Pulev, knowing that he'll be next.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that he can fight because he's an Eddie Hearn fighter.
Yeah, Eddie Hearn's promotional banner.
Yeah.
So,
I'm just thinking along the lines of Pulev has had opportunities to fight Joshua in the past and turn them down.
Yeah, but if he doesn't, if Takam was the mandatory because Pulev pulled out, so if they agree to fight and he signs, which the IBF have said he has to do more or less immediately after the fight in December, if he pulls out, the next person in the list is the mandatory.
Yep.
So they'll fulfill their mandatory obligations, keep the belt, and Usyk will let them without if AJ wins. If Ruiz wins, I think the reverse will happen, and they'll try and take a belt out of the PBC.
Okay. Has Usyk got a ranking with the WBC? Does he?
No. If Ruiz wins, Ruiz is a PBC fighter.
Oh, PBC. Sorry.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, misheard. Sorry.
what do you mean? How will they be able to get a belt off Ruiz?
Because Usyk is a mandatory.
Yeah.
The WBO.
So he's either got to defend it or drop it.
Right. So
And then Usyk will fight for the vacant belt against whoever else is in the rankings.
yeah, but why would Ruiz drop the belt rather than fight Usyk?
Well, if he doesn't, he's got to fight Pulev and drop the IBF.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
But
Okay.
Hearn will push for that, is what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
And the
Yeah.
PBC have disregarded the WBO as well, so they're more likely to get Ruiz to drop the WBO than the IBF.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so I think we've chopped up enough.
Yeah.
On my list, but oh yes, the last thing which I almost forgot in relation to Chisora, to finalize this thing and round this thing off, bring it full circle. Dave Cordwell
Gone.
no longer training Dereck Chisora. Were you aware of that?
No, they got
Yeah.
it.
Were you
Yeah,
aware
it was under pressure.
Yeah, because what's his name? The boxer who now manages
Hey.
David Hay.
David Hay did say in the press, they said, oh, by the way, just slipped in, we won't be working with Dave Cordwell for this fight. Dave Cordwell couldn't get down to London. That was never the agreement, by the way, so it's a strange thing to say. And Dereck won't be able to get up there to, where is it, Sheffield or wherever he is up north?
I think it's Sheffield because Price, we found it too far to travel.
Yeah. So
couldn't get home for his tea.
So Chisora's not going to be traveling. Basically, Chisora's not going to be traveling up to Sheffield for this one. Dave had no reason to be traveling down to London. That was not the agreement. The agreement was Chisora would be traveling up to Sheffield to train. So he's not going to be doing that trek. So he won't have Dave Cordwell in his corner. Not only that, David Hay went on to say that they'll be looking for someone to act as head trainer. So as we speak, Dereck Chisora has no head trainer. John D.
Yeah,
Tony
David,
Sims.
he did say there'd be an announcement in the next few days, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as we speak, Dereck Chisora has no head trainer. John, Big Boys Boxing. Over to you. You want to chop that up first?
Yeah, interesting. it's not a long time until the fight, so they better get their butts into gear and
Yep.
get a relationship going between Dereck Chisora and his new coach. I dare say they won't go back to Don Charles. Could it be maybe a Adam Booth? I think it's probably more likely. What's the guy's name? Shane McGuigan.
Shame.
However,
Yeah.
David Hay and Shane McGuigan aren't on the best of terms, but I mean, David Hay's just a manager, so it's a possibility.
What's the beef with them two?
Sorry?
What's the beef with Shane McGuigan and David Hay?
I'm not too sure exactly what it is,
Didn't
but
they fall out over the Bellew fight when Shane was still training?
that's right. The before the second Bellew fight, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So something happened there, and they parted ways. But I mean, the business is business, so hopefully they've smoothed that over and not let their personal stuff get in the way of potentially coaching Dereck Chisora. But yeah, interesting. I just hope Dereck Chisora does find a coach that he gels with well and prepares well for the fight, because I don't want to see a Dereck Chisora in that ring against Parker that isn't fully prepared.
Yeah, 100%. John Daly.
Well, I think with Dereck, it's about motivation more than anything else. I'd probably go for Tony Sims, because I'm not sure a really authoritarian person on the conditioning is going to work with Dereck. But I mean, I could be wrong, because he could do with better conditioning.
Yeah.
But if you're going to alienate Dereck, then you're not going to get anywhere, are you? Whereas Tony Sims, he's local. He knows about boxing.
Yeah. Will he be
So
good?
he might be a good shout.
Will he be good for Derek's conditioning?
Well, I don't think he'll push conditioning. But I mean, Hay must know about whether someone's a good strength and conditioning coach. I mean, maybe just get a separate strength and conditioning coach.
Yeah, Hay must have contacts. Hay must have.
I mean, Hay was always in good condition. He
was always in good condition. Will Hay not be working with him to a certain extent in the training capacity?
I think he will be, and I'm wondering why can't David Hay actually turn around and be the trainer? He's a smart man. He's a snake, but he's a smart man. He knows everything about boxing. Sorry, you good now?
Yeah.
I'm wondering why David Hay can't dip his toes in the coaching water. I think he'd make a decent coach.
I see David Hay as being on the conditioning side. So while they're looking for the coach, they've still got. I think Hay could be the stopgap. Hay could be the stopgap, rather than him not having any form of regimen whatsoever. I think Hay needs to step in as the stopgap, and that could temporarily solve a crazy situation. He was looking good under.
Gordwell definitely got him looking better.
Yeah. And that doesn't happen by accident. You don't just wake up in the morning looking better. That was through hard work. So Dave Cordwell had him working. He appeared to be enjoying the work, because that's 9/10 of the battle, to be enjoying what you're doing. But now Dave Cordwell is not in the mix. Big mistake by Chisora, in my opinion. Big mistake. Big mistake. And that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, brings us to the conclusion of this episode of Boxing Talk with Raphie 44. We're getting them in. It's the Monday edition. And I will end this by saying thank you to Big Boys Boxing and John Deely. Final words from John Deely.
Dereck's so reliable. Yeah, if you're ever short content,
Yeah,
hope Derek's getting scheduled for a fight.
absolutely. Absolutement. Thank you for joining me. Smash the like button for John Dealey taking time out of his day. And Big Boys Boxing, your final word, sir.
All right, everybody, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future content. And just a quick word, a couple more fights this weekend. Don't miss Carlos Takam versus Craig Lewis.
Oh, yeah.
And there's also another fight with a prospect on the Tyson Fury card. Guido Vianello, former Olympian, 4-0. He's fighting pretty much a nobody, but check him out because he's a new adage to the Joseph Parker and Kevin Barry camp. Thanks for having me, Raphie. Appreciate it.
Thank you for coming through. Big Boys Boxing has his own channel. Check him out. And thank you. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming on, jumping on. And thank you to the chat for listening, for smashing that like button, for following me on Twitter when you do, if you do. Yeah, so it's another one. Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio. It's the like, it's the subscribe, it's the comment, it's the share, and it's the hitting that bell icon to stay updated with news and notifications. And we are out. Blessed.